Hello, everyone, and welcome to this webinar with the University of Skövde. My name is Karin Jonegård, and I work at the International Office. And these are my colleagues, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves. So, Sarah, please go ahead, start.
Hi, everyone. My name is Sarah Larson. I also work here at the University of Skövde as an international coordinator and feel very welcome to this webinar today. We also have some of the program directors here with us. So, Sonja, I'll pass it on to you next.
Yeah, hello everybody. My name is Sonja Leinberger. I'm a lecturer at the School of Bioscience and teaching ecology and biology, and I am the program responsible person for molecular ecology.
Maybe I can go next. So my name is Maria Algerin. I also work as a senior lecturer at the School of Bioscience. So I'm the program coordinator for the master's program in infection biology and molecular biotechnology.
Yes, and my name is Silmina Lubak, and I'm senior lecturer in bioinformatics, and I'm program responsible for two years master's program. One of these is systems biology with specialization in bioinformatics, and the other one is biomarkers for molecular medicine.
And Madalena, do you want to introduce yourself as well?
Hi, I'm Madalena, and I'm a student on a master's in infection biology in the University of Skövde.
So, welcome everyone again, and I see that there have been some people joining us as well. And I'm just going to let Sarah introduce the agenda for today. So please go ahead, Sarah, tell us.
Of course, yes. So here you have a little bit about today's agenda, and we will try to make this webinar as informative for you guys as possible so you can make a well-informed decision when you're applying to our university. First, we will talk a little bit about Sweden and our town, Skövde, and we'll also introduce you to our university here in Skövde. After that, you will get a chance to talk to the program coordinators that are here today and ask them some questions about the programs, and they will tell you some information about their specific programs that they're representing. We will then tell you a little bit more about the student life here in Sweden, tuition fees, living costs, scholarship opportunities, and all those things that you guys usually ask about, because we know we get a lot of questions about these things. So we'll try to cover them as best as we can. And after that, we've saved a little treat for you guys because we have Madalena, our student, here today with us, and she's going to share her experience with you guys as well about studying here in Sweden. And I listened to this presentation once before, and it's really good. So you guys are in for a treat. You're going to want to stay for that one. Finally, we're going to end off this webinar with a Q&A. So if you have any specific questions about scholarships, tuition fees, whatever it may be, residence permits, you can save those for the end. Post them in the Q&A section here in the Zoom, and we'll get to them as we have time at the end. I also want to tell you guys about the the QR codes, the QR codes that we're using during this presentation. So we have those during each slide or some of the slides. So make sure that you keep your phones out in case you want to screenshot something that you might want to come back to later on. So yes, let's get started. And over to you, Karin. Introduce us to Sweden.
Thank you so much. Well, we're going to start this presentation with, of course, doing a bit of bragging. It's not typical Swedish to do that because we'll get back to that about our favorite word, lagom. I think Sarah is going to talk a bit about that later on. But anyway, we might be a little nation, but we have had quite a big impact. And the impact we have had, you can see all these different inventions. Tetra Pak, it could be Metro, it could be Spotify, vacuum cleaner, modern refrigerator, and a couple of things more. The Bluetooth, I think we had it somewhere here as well. Yes. Well, I think all of you have heard about that, or perhaps the dynamite. Well, dynamite is a really famous Swedish invention, and the one who invented it was Alfred Nobel, and he became a very wealthy man. And the reason why I'm mentioning this, because I think everyone has heard about the Nobel Prize. And that is really famous. And there's so many researchers who have won the Nobel Prize that have some kind of connection to Sweden. Just to mention Svante Pääbo, he's a Swedish guy who won the Nobel Prize like 3 years ago. 5 years ago, there was these two scientists called Emmanuel Charpentier and Jennifer A. Doudna. The thing with Emmanuel Charpentier was that she actually did a part of her research, a part of her discovery of her when she was a researcher here in the north of Sweden at another university, though. But you know, it is kind of a connection with all these amazing inventions and the way we work and live here in Sweden, because Sweden is really one of the world's innovation leaders, and it has to do with that we put a lot of our GDP into research and development, actually more than most countries. And of course, I think that's the reason why we have so many Nobel Prize winners. And we are kind of a leader concerning invention all over the world. We are really one of the world's innovation leaders due to this. But I'm going to continue letting Sarah talk a bit about lagom, as I mentioned, because what I was talking about now was not so lagom. I was really bragging about this amazing Sweden and, you know, the amazing research we have here. And you're going to meet some of those representatives really soon as well. And they can talk a bit about research as well. But please tell me why I was not lagom in this presentation, Sarah.
Of course, yes. I'm always so amazed by that picture. Like every time I notice something different, like, wow, I actually didn't know that was Swedish, because we have so many inventions that it's hard to keep track of all of them, right? But yes, let me tell you a little bit about lagom then, because lagom is a word that you will definitely come into knowing when you're here in Sweden. Probably one of the first Swedish words that you will learn, I will say. And the concept lagom means not too little, not too much, just the right amount. And we think that Skövde is lagom in many ways. First of all, as you can see in the picture here, the location is very lagom. It's right in between the two biggest cities here in Sweden, Stockholm and Gothenburg, and not marked on the map, but you may know Norway and Denmark and their biggest cities, Oslo and Copenhagen. We're actually kind of right in between those as well. So the location is very lagom for a lot of reasons. If we go to the next slide, we can also see how Skövde kind of captures the whole feeling and spirit of lagom. We have both city life and nature life here. The town itself, it's very close and easy to get around. We have modern shops, cafes, and they just naturally blend into this green surrounding nature that we have here. An example that you can see down to the right, where you see a photo of the mountain Billingen, which is a mountain right here in our town. And in Skövde, we like to say this is a very lagom mountain, because, you know, when you say mountain, if you're from Austria or Nepal or something, you think of a mountain and like that's almost impossible to get to the top, right? But Billingen is only 300 meters high. So we can hike there in about 35-40 minutes. And in Sweden, that's the lagom amount of hiking we like to do on the weekend. So I definitely recommend checking that out, because it's a very lagom spot here in Skövde, and we're very proud of it too. Another place that I just want to mention, because it has very cool history, is Varnhem Monastery, which you can see to the upper right in this photo. And this is a monastery that's almost 1,000 years old. And it tells the story of Sweden's early kings and spiritual roots. And it's just a perfect lagom balance between the past and the present, I would say. But if we go to the next slide, I'm also going to brag a little bit, because this is why Skövde is not so lagom. We are actually the best student city in Sweden right now. And that's not just something that I'm saying. You don't even have to take my word for it, because we actually won the award this year, Swedish Student City of the Year 2025, given by the Swedish National Union of Students. And we were given this award because we're warm and nice, welcoming to all new students, and the contacts that we provide between students and the business and public sector here in Skövde. We also were given it because of our increased availability for student housing. So we could definitely not be more proud to be Sweden's Student City of the Year. And a little secret to you guys, this is actually not the first time we won this award, it's the second. So that is so cool. We're so happy to be celebrating that. Actually, this week we have a little party here at our university where we're celebrating this every single day with different events. So it's very fun. And yeah, you definitely don't want to miss out on coming here because Skövde is definitely Student City of the Year for sure. And if we move on, Karin might want to tell us a little bit more about the university because she is a history nerd. So she knows all about the history of this university, right?
Thank you. I don't know if I know all about it, but I'm officially a history nerd. That's absolutely true. But just some short history about our university. It was established in 1977 by an act of the Swedish Parliament. We're a public institution, and the university is a government agency under the Swedish Minister of Education and Research. And you can see these beautiful buildings. They're actually old military buildings that, of course, have been updated with new decor and technology, of course. But there's also like new buildings, of course, as well. So it's a beautiful mix between old and new. And the beautiful thing you can see here is the outdoor facilities. I really like them because it means that you can even charge your computer and sit outdoors and work and have like amazing places for your group work. We will talk a bit more about group works later on, why it's a bit typical for if you're studying in a Swedish context. But it's so beautiful here at the campus because you can see all the 4 seasons here. You have the beautiful spring that we were going from spring into winter. So, but we have had all these beautiful colors on the campus. And then hopefully we will get some snow before Christmas. And when you arrive, then it will be summer, and then you will experience summer, autumn, winter, and then also the spring. So it is beautiful. And Sarah, do you want to just give us some short information about the university as well?
Of course, yes. So let me give you guys some numbers so you get an idea of kind of the size of our university here. So right now we are 11,000. I was going to say around 11,558 students, but that sounds pretty specific to me. So I would say that's the amount of students we are right now. We have 495 staff. 2/3 of those are actually academic staff, which we're very proud of because that means a lot of support for you guys, right? And we have more than 60 different nationalities at our school, 24 international programs, 130 partner universities in more than 30 countries, and 450 incoming international students every year, and 90 outgoing exchange students yearly. So we're definitely a very international school for sure. And Colin, you might want to share something about the location as well, because that's interesting.
As you can see here, you can see that the blue line is indicated where the indicates where the university is located, and you can see the beautiful campus. It's like we're embedded in a park, basically. It's amazing. And you can see the green line, it's where the Skövde Science Park is located. And then we have shared facilities. It's where the pink line is. It indicates where those shared facilities are. So you can see this building called Portalen. I will talk a bit more about it later on. But the left part belongs to the university. It has 2 or 3 schools located there, actually 2 schools. And then we have to the right, there we have a bit of the side of the science park where there's a lot of companies located as well. Startup companies, it could be established companies, it could be some of the largest companies here in the city. Almost all of them have at least a tiny office here, even though they might have their main office somewhere, because we really work closely with the surrounding business community, basically. And we also have 5 schools for very specialized universities. So we have the School of Informatics, the School of Business, the School of Health Sciences, the School of Engineering Science, and the School of Bioscience that we're going to focus a bit more into today. And here, I'm just going to leave the floor to my colleagues because now you're going to meet the program directors, and they will also start sharing their PowerPoints, so you will be able to see that as well. And perfect.
Yes, now I'm ready.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yes, like I said, my name is Maria Algerin. So I'm Program Director for Molecular Biotechnology and Infection Biology. And those two programs we offer as one-year programs as well as two-year programs. And then we have also two additional one-year master programs, one in artificial intelligence for bioinformatics, but that one starts in the spring semester, like in January. So we will not give any information about that one here today. But then we also have one-year master's program in molecular ecology, where Sonia is the program coordinator for that program. And then here are the two-year master's program that we offer, and all of them starts in August. All are for 120 credits. So you can see infection biology, molecular biotechnology, also here, where I'm responsible for. And then we have the biomarkers in molecular medicine that Selmina is in charge of. And then she is also in charge of the systems biology with specialization in bioinformatics. And then also we have the two-year version also of molecular ecology, where we have Sonia as the program coordinator. And now we will show you more details about these different programs. And we will start with the systems biology with specialization in bioinformatics. So that one is Selmina's program. So if you want to say a few words about that one.
Yes, Maria, thank you very much for the introduction. Well, I'm not really sure how much details you want, but I'm trying to be lagom, as Sweden proposes. Well, in this program, as the name indicates, the focus is in bioinformatics. That means that students get knowledge about a lot of bioinformatics tools and methods to analyze large-scale data. So remember, like systems biology is more about like really large scale data. We do not analyze one gene at a time. We analyze like the whole genome or the whole proteome, etc. In this program, as you notice in these courses, like there is a lot of statistics that is covered, for example, in the course data analysis for life science. I'm sure that other lecturers maybe put more focus, or the other program coordinators will put more focus on that, because these are the courses that are shared between different programs. But what is more specific, let's say, for this specialization in bioinformatics is that students are learning more programming and they have less wet lab. So this is the only program that is a little bit more unique in that sense. So the students, you are going to learn more about Python programming, R programming, that is also covered in other programs as well. And then as you see, the courses that are going to be mentioned in the other by other program directors are like systems biology and multivariate analysis with R and bioinformatics analysis with R. So as you see that we use a lot of like programming to actually analyze biological data and to find out, for example, the reasons behind diseases and the underlying mechanisms, etc. So during the second year, students are learning more about spending more time in a lab as well, learning these technologies like such as NGS, like next generation sequencing, and it ends up with master degree project, which is 45 credits. So Maria, would you like me to extend this more, or should I like stop there and you can maybe complement with your own course specific?
Yeah, maybe we can say that for all our 2-year master's program, you will get a degree, a Master of Science with a major in systems biology. So you will study some different courses, but the degree that you will get are the same. And we can also say that this master degree project, you will do that as like a research project, and you can do that here at our university for sure. But if you would like, you can also do it externally, like in collaboration with another university or company in Sweden or in other countries as well. So it really also depends on your interest, you can say. If you're really interested in a specific field or maybe technique that we cannot offer at our university, we can do it in also collaboration with other universities or companies. And you can even go also sometimes for like if you go to another European university, you can also get scholarship, Erasmus scholarship, for going also abroad and doing your thesis. But and also, if you have specific questions, maybe regarding the courses or layout or the degrees, you can just write them in the chat or ask us later on also, because there's no need for us to go through each content in every single course. So if you're just interested, you can just ask us, or you can also send us email later and we can send you the syllabus also for the specific courses if you like to know also. But then we can continue with the 1-year master's program. So as you can see, so this is more or less the same for both the molecular biotechnology, infection biology, and molecular ecology. So you see, first you study a course called Experimental Method and Design in Bioscience. That one is quite a big course. You can see it's for 17.5 credits. So here you will learn basically all about laboratory work and a lot of different experimental techniques, like PCR, cloning, qPCR, Western blot, sequencing, how to analyze and extract DNA, RNA, and proteins. So there's a main focus on like wet lab work in that course, and experimental and academic writing as well. And then in parallel, you're studying data analysis for life science, and that one is more like a basic biostatistics course. So you will learn how to analyze your data statistically, which will be really beneficial for later when you will write your thesis work. And then, as you can see, the difference between these 3 different programs is the program-specific course. So depending on what program you have selected, you either study molecular biotechnology, molecular and cellular infection biology, or molecular ecology and conservation biology. And then afterwards, you will do your master degree project the second semester. And also here, you can do it either at the University of Skövde or in collaboration with other universities or companies in Sweden or other countries. But all students from these 3 programs will also get the same degree, a Master of Science with a major in Bioscience. Anything you would like to add, Sonja?
No, I only can say that molecular ecology exactly is what the name said, that we use molecular methods to run ecological experiments or analysis, depending on how to detect species, or doing monitoring using eDNA, also environmental DNA methods, and so on. That is the part that we taking in this program-specific course for the master with 60 credit points. But otherwise, like you said, it's a big wet lab course, the experimental methods and data analysis, before you then can go into the master degree project that you choose by your own. Or with us, even with research projects, we have quite a lot of ongoing research projects. For example, I'm working with invasive species or even with honeybees, and we try to integrate our students in those projects if they want. Or like Maria said, you can cooperate with other institutes or other universities if you want.
And I can briefly just mention also this molecular biotechnology course. It's not any wet wet labs in that course, but instead you're doing a big individual project where you're doing like a cloning work, the whole stage from expressing the gene to purifying your protein, like in theory, and learning a lot of different things there. And in the molecular cellular infection biology, you are dealing with important human pathogens and how the immune system can battle these microorganisms. And I think in all of these courses also we have a part about ethics regarded or in relationship to these topics as well, which is really important to discuss. Okay, so that was the 1-year program. So now we're moving on to the 2-year master's program in molecular biotechnology, infection biology, biomarkers in molecular medicine, and molecular biotechnology. And as you can see also here, these 4 programs are also really similar. It's only 2 courses that are different. You can see these ones in pink here. So, of course, it's the molecular biotechnology project, the infection biology modeling, biomarkers data analysis, or applied molecular ecology. So here now you're going a bit further into your specialization, depending on what program you're studying. And as you can see also when looking at the first semester, you can see that the 1-year program and the 2-year program are exactly the same, or the variations of these programs. So it means that if you want, there's a possibility to switch between the 1 and the 2-year programs after the first semester. Of course, there are some criteria, but that is an opportunity that you can do. So then I have already talked about these courses here, the first semester. Then the second semester, here you can see that these 3 courses are the same courses like in Selmina's program that she showed previously. So like in this semester, mainly you're analyzing or using computers to analyze biological data. And I could say maybe in this program specific course for molecular biotechnology, then they are doing also some wet labs. So here you're doing a CRISPR lab. So I know that Karin, she mentioned this Charpentier, this Nobel Prize. So it was actually for this CRISPR technique that they got the Nobel Prize. So in this course, you are doing a project, a group project, where you are actually using the CRISPR technique to modify yeast cells. Very independent also work. And then in the third semester, also like Samina mentioned, here you're using both you're learning how to prepare and do the sequencing in the lab and also how to analyze sequencing data, like large scale sequencing data. That is really beneficial, and I think a lot of students also continue and working with this field in their master degree project course later. And then also here you have 45 credits, so corresponding to 30 weeks, yes, of full-time studies where you are doing your thesis work. So anything else you want to add, Sonia or Selmina?
Yes, I can add that in the applied molecular ecology course, we go beside, we have also a lab, wet lab moment in that course. But before that, we go out in field and train us in collecting material. In that case, we are more into insects and collecting them. And even going to museum collections in Gothenburg and looking there and taking samples. So you will learn that about ancient DNA also. And then we're running barcodes in the lab, and from the entire collecting about the sequencing, getting it and putting it in databases. So you learn the whole procedure in that course. That's from my side. Maybe Selmina will say something about her course.
Yes, I can just mention a little bit. First of all, that this program, Biomarkers, has been originally developed in collaboration with companies. So there were like around 15 companies that have contributed actually to the content of this, especially this special part of biomarkers. So you will find a lot of nice applications and yeah, content that is very useful, of course, in collaboration with the companies. But what are the specific courses? Actually, these are biomarkers, which is this program-specific course one, biomarkers in molecular medicine, and the second one is biomarkers data analysis, which is more like, well, digging in a little bit more in the biomarkers, because as you may know, biomarkers are like measurable signals in our body that could be used to diagnose and prognose and treat diseases. So here you learn how to identify them, how to measure, how to basically use them for diagnosis and prognosis. And at the end, what we want to achieve with the biomarkers is to have a more like precise medicine, to have a better treatment, so that people do not have to suffer when with the unnecessary treatments, etc. So here you also learn, of course, a lot of statistical and, well, artificial intelligence methods as well, such as machine learning and yeah, like decision trees and multiple regression, etc., etc. So yeah, very, very popular choice, let's say.
Yeah, I think all these programs, they're really similar, like you said. So really you should go, what is your like interest? That is, I think, most critical, because it's important that you prioritize the programs when you do the selection in the application, because you can only be admitted to one, your highest ranked one. But all, like you see, will get a Master of Science with a major in systems biology. So all these programs will lead to the same degree at the end. Yes, and this is just a slide showing the outcome from the student pools that we do each year. So we ask the students how content they are with the studies at our university, and we ask them how satisfied they are with different criteria, like the premises and so on. And then you can see that a lot of students answer that they are very much or highly satisfied with the premises, with the administrative service, also the library resources and the study guidance. Not that many has maybe used the student health service, so they cannot judge, but the ones that have done are, or at least the majority that has done that, is highly satisfied. Also, they're really pleased with the teachers and the program responsibles, and quite okay also with the student influence. And we are also really trying to improve our studies and courses also each year. And then maybe some other selling points from our side is that we use quite advanced experimental and computer-based techniques. So especially if you're studying the 2-year master's program, you will really get both the experimental knowledge and the computer-based techniques as well. And we have an active collaboration with several companies within the life science area. And we have a lot of different ongoing research also at our school, like in sepsis, bee and ecology research that Sonia is performing and told you a little bit about previously, stem cell research, agricultural research, and a lot of also different bioinformatic research. And we try when we can to really link the lectures also in the different courses to the ongoing research. So you will also get familiar what kind of research that are being performed at our school. But I think our most maybe, let's say, strong selling point is that the student finds it to be a really friendly learning environment at University of Skövde. We are a small university, so usually the students and teacher become really familiar, and we will know you, you will know us, and so on. Anything you want to add, Sonja or Selmina?
Not really.
No, it's fine. Go ahead.
Yeah, and then we can see, later on you will hear from an actually student when Madalena will will tell you her point of view. So also, and let's see if she finds it to be friendly here in Skövde. And then what about your future when you have graduated from these programs? Well, we did a really big survey in 2022 where we asked students what kind of occupation they have. And here you can see just some what the students are doing. So a lot are going and continuing for PhD. Some are working more like in the bioinformatic area, some as research or research assistants, and some as medical technicians. So it's really a wide range that you can work later on. And you can either work in Sweden, but also a lot of students also find jobs in other European countries or also outside. You can see here, some have done their PhD in Japan, for instance. And this is also, Karin also mentioned this maybe before, that, Skövde is a really medium-sized Swedish town. So it's lagom, but maybe where you are coming from, it's not medium-sized, maybe it's really a small size, but we find it to be quite nice. You have a lot of good transportation. You can also walk more or less all around town. You can take the train just 1 hour to Gothenburg and 2-3 hours to Stockholm. It's really a safe and clean town. It can be great for families. You can like walk and cycle everywhere. A lot of beautiful nature also all around. But also then you have quite a lot of restaurants and nightlives as well. And Skövde as an educational institution, well, we think that we can provide a great teacher-student support since we are a small university. Like we said, that if you contact your teacher, you will always get some help or response. We try to keep a really good connection, especially the program directors with the students. Here in the master programs, it's a really diverse student group, I would say. We mainly admit international students. Of course, there's also Swedish students, but a lot of students from Africa, Asia. But we have also had students from both North and South America and Australia. So I would say that we have students from all around the world. And since we are also like a quite newly established university, the campus and the buildings are, I think, really, really nice. They are really updated, both the classroom and the laboratories. So they are really well equipped. And also with a lot of that, also I think Karin or Sara showed you earlier, that a lot of green spaces around the campus also. And then I can also say that the University of Skövde is part of Ingenium, which is a European University Alliance called Ingenium. So it means that it's 10 universities across Europe that really try to now intensively work in order to increase the collaboration. So there's also great opportunity to maybe go and do maybe, for instance, your thesis work at one of these partner universities. And then, of course, if you're coming from another country, it will be some cultural differences. Also, Madalena can tell you maybe more about that one later. So at least this slide was set up by our colleague that originally came from UK. So according to him, we Swedes are really super organized. And we're quite quiet and friendly as well. And we love sports. And we have some weird food, he thinks. Generally good, I think he thinks. But we put some banana or pineapple on our pizzas. And that one, I don't think it's a favorite for everybody. And then also here we have quite a long winter. So it can be quite challenging for some students, of course, with the cold and maybe also the dark days that it can be sometimes in the winter. But then the spring and the summer is really, really beautiful here, I would say. So Selmina, Sonja, anything to add?
No.
No. So now I think we're open for questions. So you can ask us anything you like. Yes.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Sonja, Maria, and Selmina. I just think it's so hilarious when I see the pizza with bananas because one of my favorite pizzas are it's called Africana or Nor. It depends because every different pizza has the pizza owner has their different name on the same pizza basically. So it's so fun. You might go to one place and then you order an Africana, and then you go to another one and then you order a Nor, but it is actually with bananas. Peanuts and chicken. I love it. It's amazing, but I think it could be a bit weird for people who doesn't. So I goes like, no, don't
You
eat
mentioned
that
that I'm not originally from Sweden, right?
No,
Not like that one.
But it's great. I love it. But no, it's like when it comes to pizza, we do it. I mean, like if you come from Italy, you will be shocked because the way we do pizza is so different. We have a very local, and we also have kebab pizza that is really good as well. I have heard people who have been who comes from Maristad, where I live, who have been traveling all over the world and says that we have the best kebab pizza. So then you know what to check out when you come here. So it's so fun with the pizzas. And of course, with the buns, we love our buns, you get them all over the place, different types of versions, of course. So yeah, but I couldn't help myself saying that since I know that John put it there. Yes. So, but thank you so much. And we will start with the questions. I will see. Oh, there's a lot of questions here I can see. Please write the questions in the Q&A because then I can make sure that all of them are answered. Yes. Yes, I'll start with the first one. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Vinges, and my question is, what document do I have to provide for admission into Masters in Infection Biology? The university admission website did not mention any documents for the University of Skövde other than general admission documents like degree certificate, transcript, passports. So I'm just going to answer really fast because I see that you come from Nigeria. So when you apply, all of your applications will go through university admission. We will explain that a bit more later on. So no worries about that. But then they will look into your country-specific criteria where you have your degree from, and then they will check that out. But then the next step is that we will also check out your criteria here at the admission towards the program criteria. So I'm thinking perhaps Maria, Sonja, Selmina, do you want to talk about the criteria for infection biology? One of you.
Yes. So there are no university-specific documents that you need to submit. So meaning no need to provide CVs, reference letters, motivations letter, or these kinds. So what we will do is what's important for all kind of admission is that you follow the recommendation from the country you have got your bachelor's degree from, because it can vary what kind of documents you should submit depending on what country you're coming from. So really go through that one. But what we will look mainly at is the degree certificate and the transcripts, like what specific courses you have studied. And then, of course, you need to fulfill the criteria for the English proficiency. But no university-specific documents are required.
And
Thank
no
you.
motivation letter either. I get recently an email to
Yes.
ask, do I have to write a motivation letter or something? Or that is not required from our side.
No.
There are possibility to upload, but you don't have to.
What are the pathway academically for biomarkers in molecular medicine at the University of Skövde after the master programs? Secondly, what is the job opportunities of getting a part-time job in Skövde like? The second question we will come back to later. But the first one, what are the pathway academically?
Well, as Maria mentioned earlier, I think the most common path is actually continuing with PhD studies, because for the, let's say, for the large pharmaceutical companies such as AstraZeneca, you really need to have a PhD. So to also, of course, feel more comfortable and to actually do the research. So the research part is it's one of the I would say most important parts after this. But Maria also mentioned that you could be like research assistant, maybe while you're exploring also other opportunities. But like pharmaceutical companies are very common to end up as a research assistant, for example. Then we have a large infrastructure in Sweden, life science infrastructure called Science for Life Laboratory. And there students with this background from our programs and similar backgrounds can end up as like data analysts, etc. So yeah, these are some examples of where you can find a job later.
Yes, and maybe we can also mention that the School of Bioscience has this career day once per year, where we really have alumni, so students that are already finished, and they come and speak where they found a job and also what was their experiences and connections, and even their companies are coming. And this is really a good day for networking for you when you are here and reading our programs, to make networking, seeing the older students where they go to after they finished here and they get their degree. So that is very unique for the School of Bioscience that we have this day, and it's very appreciated by the students as well.
Thank you. I'm interested in molecular biotechnology. I want to know about its syllabus and what will be the job opportunities after the course completion.
I think we have already maybe given you some examples of the job opportunities. A lot of the students, and also it depends on if it's the 1 year or 2 year. Of course, for the 2 year, you have maybe better selection also, because then you're learning also a lot about this data analyzing thing that is really maybe required at different companies. But also as a PhD student. So a lot of students continue for PhD studies, but also, like we said, like in different research institutes. Some end up also maybe at the hospital, but that is a little bit more difficult, because in Sweden, generally working at the laboratories at the hospital, you mainly need to know Swedish. Maybe not at the university hospital working with research, then English is fine, but more like laboratory work at hospitals in Sweden, then maybe it requires Swedish. But there's a lot of different possibilities. And I think also, one student I know that graduated from the 2-year master's program, they ended up working at the bank, analyzing money instead of biological data. Because also you will learn a lot of techniques and data analysis and statistics also in the 2-year master's program. So also, if you think wide, I think that you have really a great opportunity later on, after you have finished.
Thank you. Thank you for the insightful session. I would like to confirm whether the English language test is mandatory for applicants from all nationalities for the master's program in bioinformatics with a specialization in system biology, or if it's automatically waived for applicants from English-speaking countries that are already exempted on the universityadmission.se.
Well, I think that, as you said before, actually, they need to go to their specific country to look for the requirements. So, and the same apply for all of these programs that have been mentioned here.
So, because there are some countries that are exempt from this English proficiency, or that you need to show that you have studied it in the secondary school or these things. But then it really depends on what country you are from and that you have studied at previously. So really look at the country-specific requirements at the university admission, because they are really good and they really write specifically what documents you need to submit.
Yes.
Thank you. Hi, thank you for the session. I'm interested in system biology with specialization in bioinformatics. I would like to know if there's a prerequisite for this course, asking because I have a background in statistics with a 4-year work experience in working as a digital health specialist, providing support with the use of technology for mass health campaigns.
Well, prerequisites are also same for all of these 2 years master's programs mentioned, and it is a bachelor degree with a major in biological or medical sciences. And when we look for the prerequisites, we look for the courses like in biochemistry and molecular biology, biotechnology, etc. So I would say statistics, it helps a lot, definitely, to manage the courses, but it's not one of these special prerequisites. But I believe that your background sounds very appropriate for this. But these are the formal requirements that I mentioned, like bachelor degree in with a major in biological or medical area, and it applies to all 2 years master's program.
Thank you. I see there's a lot of questions about supporting documents and scholarships. We will continue with that after this Q&A, and then we'll go firmly through that. So I'm going to wait with answering those questions until the next Q&A. So I'm mainly focusing on the ones that we will ask the program coordinators to. So it is about ILTs and other things. I'm going to wait with those. Let's see.
I can see a question in the chat regarding the if the student can study some other courses than Swedish course, because except for your program-specific course, you can also study like Swedish culture, language and culture for international students, these things. And then they were asking if we also provide courses in like German or French or this, but we do not. So it's like Swedish course. Yeah. Maybe you will tell a little bit about that one later also.
Yes, we will absolutely talk about that as well. Another question here is, I have also completed 3 years of a bachelor course in microbiology. For which courses programs am I suitable to apply? Please advise.
All of them. So no problem, since the requirements are the same for all the, I would say 1 or 2 year master's program. Actually, so I think that you will fulfill the criteria for all the different programs. So it will be up to you what you find most interesting. Maybe the most natural one would maybe be to go for the infection biology if you have a microbiology degree. But if you want to go for maybe broaden your like topic and knowledge, so then you can go for any other program that you find interesting. If you have a microbiology bachelor's, then you have a really good like background for all the different programs.
Yes, thank you. Another question we were talking a bit about it before, but I'm going to just ask it again. So, is there any job opportunity after doing molecular biotechnology in Sweden? Do the university have a role in recruiting process?
I don't fully understand, but the university are not involved in like finding employment later on. It's really up to you, the student. Of course, there are some positions at the university, but since we're a small university, it's not that many positions that we have each year. So yeah, I don't
But
know.
we have this CV writing help courses from the university side, so you get support to go out there after the education into working life. And like I said before, this career day is a really good opportunity to make connections. And then we have this CV writing course from the university. It's for all schools here at the university.
Yes, and then of course we have the study and career counselors also that can really help you with that one. And of course we as program coordinators can also help you if you have like specific questions or want to know where can I find specific jobs, how can I apply. Sometimes also students show me like their CV and want to get some kind of recommendation on how to write it. So also, of course, we can provide help for you, but we cannot, but we will not be able to get employment for you. That one will be up to you, but we will help you in the best way we can.
Yeah, I think the thesis project is a very good way to actually come into the company, or especially to other universities as well, if you want to go for a PhD position. And we point at like large labs that have large grants, of course, where you can do your thesis project and increase your chances for getting like a PhD position. So we're using our research networks to help students to get into these networks, actually.
Yeah. And we try to post also open positions, these things also, and share them with the students also.
Yeah.
So, of course.
Thank you so much. Another question here. Good day, and thank you for preparing and presenting this. I have a degree in microbiology from Nigeria, and I'm applying for the master's in infection biology. I'm particularly concerned about whether I meet the prerequisites for admission. Could you also provide information about students' accommodation? We will talk about student accommodations later on. But if you, yes, so the person has a degree in microbiology from Nigeria and applying for the master's in infection biology, and is wondering if they have the right prerequisites for admission.
Yes, you have, but we cannot remember that it's the central system in Sweden that check your like bachelor's degree, so it's valid and have the enough credits and these things. And then afterwards, we, the program coordinators, check the specific courses, your transcripts. But if you have a degree in microbiology, then I would say we admit a lot of students with a microbiology background to all the different programs, not just only to the infection biology program. So for that one, I would really encourage you to apply. But also then the English, I don't know, maybe Nigeria, maybe don't need the English proficiency, but otherwise that one is the requirement as well.
Thank you.
And we had students from Nigeria before, we can also add.
Yes, yes, we have previously had a lot of students from Nigeria, so yes.
And we just got a bit of a comment there that is very fun. On a lighter note, I couldn't help but notice ABBA wasn't mentioned as one of Sweden's most famous experts. That's absolutely true. We didn't get into the Swedish musical wonder, so thank you. We have a lot of more. Just to mention ABBA, it's we can have our own webinar for that, and you can talk with us when we come here. We would love to brag about that as well. So that's absolutely true. Yes, there's a lot of questions, as mentioned, about ILTs and stuff like that. We will answer that later on. But I'm going to continue with some questions here as well. Can one work in the medical labs doing clinical work after doing the degree, since there is training on wet lab skills? Can someone register with the medical board?
I don't know what this question with the medical board, but of course you can work in a clinical lab. I think also we will provide you with, I think, a good background in experimental work, but then also remember, if you're really interested in a specific field or want to go for like clinical laboratory work, then really it's important what you will choose as your thesis project, because that one is 30 weeks of your whole 2-year experience. So that will really give you the I think the best experience in any field, that will really provide you with a good background and opportunity to go for an occupation later on. So really, if you will already know what you want to like be working in, make sure that you do a thesis project within that area also. That is, like Selmina mentioned previously also, that is the most important thing, I think. Your thesis work and the recommendations from your supervisor during your thesis work, that will earn you or get you an occupation or PhD student position afterwards. The most critical thing, yeah.
Yes, thank you. Another question is, in the academic curriculum seen on the screen, I only observed Python programming for system biology program and R for biomarkers in molecular medicine. Why is the casing that Python is important for data analysis and biomarkers as well deal with lots of data?
Yeah, well, first of all, R is a really programming language that is has a lot of packages that are really specially designed to handle large scale data. So in bioscience, we get new technologies, and we get new types of data. Like I mentioned, this transcriptomics, proteomics, etc. So we measure different things, we get new data, and then they built new packages that could be used to analyze this kind of data. So it's really convenient, because you always get new packages to actually tackle with the new challenges and new data. So that is very convenient for the large-scale data analysis. And similar for Python, and it's also simple to use. And one of the, I think, very good arguments is because employers are asking for this. So when you're looking for a job, they often have this as a special requirements, that you actually can do programming in Python, because there is also BioPython that is also adjusted to biological data, and they also ask for R. So that's why. But of course, there are other options as well, but we need to make choices that we believe are most best for the students.
Thank you. There's some questions about financial aid scholarship. We'll get back to that. Is a major in physiology also accepted to apply?
Yes,
Yes.
for molecular ecology it is, and for you as well, Maria.
Yeah, because in physiology, usually you have studied some like basic courses like cell biology, maybe microbiology, like human physiology, immunology, maybe, so, or genetics, these things. So yeah, we mainly don't only look at the degree, we look at the specific courses that you have studied. But usually if you have a physiology degree, then you usually have studied these courses, and then we admit you. Yes.
Here's another question. Since there are no university-specific requirements, what is the admission selection based on aside from grades?
So nothing. So it's the courses that you have studied, and if we need to make selection, it's based on like number of credits and grades.
Thank you. And it was like another questions about like asking if a bachelor in physiology or microbiology is accepted to apply.
Yes,
Yes.
and everybody is acceptable to
We
apply.
already answered that, yeah.
But we have admit students with both degrees previously.
What are the courses offered by University after completing a master in infection biology? So after you have gotten a master in infection biology, are there courses offered by the university after that?
No, if you want to continue with studies, then it's like PhD studies.
But you can choose open courses, even from the other programs, if you want thereafter. I sometimes have students that after molecular biodesign are searching for ecological courses because they become keen during the studies in those courses, and then they read more courses, even if they are examined.
Yes.
But it's up to you to pay for those courses then after your degree. But the
And I can say
possibility
that,
is there.
yes, because at the School of Bioscience, we offer a lot of courses in English. So also a lot of our bachelor's courses and also master's courses, most of them are open for like freestanding, for freestanding students, and also many of them are offered in English. So of course, there's always that possibility also, like Sonia said.
Another question here is, I'm studying my last year of my bachelor's in biology from Portugal. Can I apply to the program Biomarkers in Molecular Medicine?
You said biological, where
Biology, BSc
Biology.
biology.
Yeah. Well, I think it would be definitely fine to apply, yeah.
Yeah, you need to have your degree once you come here to register.
Yeah.
So you will be conditionally admitted then. You need to show sometimes also proof that you are in your last year of studies. But also all this information can be found at the university admission also. And then at the time of, because you cannot be registered on the program until you show up here in Skövde. And then you need to show your official degree certificate at that day, like in the end of August or beginning of September.
Perfect. That answered the question we had here, so I'm going to take that away. And then it's like, do you think my bachelor degree in medical biotechnology can be appropriate preparation for a master degree in infection biology? So if you have a background in medical biotechnology, can you apply for a degree in infection biology?
Yes, of course.
Perfect. Yes, and then he says like after completing a master in infection biology, what are the PhD courses offered by your university?
Since we are a small university, we don't have like PhD student rights in bioscience. We have in health
Information
science and
technology.
information technology. But meaning that we don't offer any like PhD student courses in like bioscience at our university. However, we do have PhD students at our school, but then they are like, you can say, affiliated to another university in Sweden.
Like Gothenburg, which is not so far away.
No, Örebro also not far away. Yes.
Exactly.
But then it means that we are not offering PhD student courses in bioscience at our university. So then if you're a student, so both me and Selmina, we were PhD student at University of Skövde, but we were then got our degree, me from Uppsala and Selmina from
England.
England, yeah. And then we studied courses there or at other universities also.
And in England, you don't need any courses.
Okay.
So you just
This is only in
you're
Sweden.
writing a PhD thesis or dissertation. Yeah.
Another one here is I have completed my bachelor degree in biotechnology and also have a master MBA. I'm really interested in applying for the master program in molecular biotechnology, and I just want to ask if my background makes me eligible for admission.
Yeah. What background did you say again?
A bachelor degree in biotechnology and also have an MBA.
Yeah,
Of course.
for sure. Because also if you have a background or a degree in biotechnology, also you have studied these like cell biology, genetics, molecular biology, these kind of courses that we are looking for. So for sure.
And we have a comment here, but I think it's very nice. It's like I'm already in love with the school and its team represented here today. I appreciate your explanation and details while answering your questions. One small thank you. And we say thank you also we have had so many questions. We're going to
You're very welcome.
we're going to answer them after the second part about scholarships and things like that. So I'm thinking we don't have any more questions related to you as program coordinators. So I just want to say a big thank you for participating and answering all
You're
the
welcome.
questions. And please, is it okay if you can write your email in the chat so the students can send you an email if they have any more questions? Because I don't know how you are, but I always get the best questions in my mind afterwards. Then it's like, oh yeah, that thing, and then they can send you an email.
Of course, they are very welcome to ask
Yes, yes.
questions.
Perfect. So thank you so much. And then I'm just, yeah, so thank you so much. And we will continue with the
Should I
webinar.
write
And
it my email also, or are you going to write yourself?
oh, no, you can write it yourself in the chat if you want to write your own email there.
Okay.
Can I just say, make sure you write it to everyone and not just to hosts and panelists, because usually that's
Oh,
set
yeah.
as default. So I noticed that I think you only posted it to hosts and panelists.
Aha.
Okay.
Webinar chat. All right. So here, but
So
I don't
just change to everyone if you're able to.
Oh.
Otherwise, I can copy and paste.
So it's done.
Perfect.
Panelists.
Thank you.
No problem.
Okay, I will write it. Biomarkers.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much. And
Thank you.
so feel free to stay if you want to, but I totally understand if you need to leave because you have other things to do as well. But
Stay for some time. So also.
yeah.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right. I posted it right now. Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. So then we will continue with the second part of the webinar. So now you have, you can see, yes, you can see the correct thing here.
Yeah.
So then you have met the program directors, the program coordinators, and we had a bit of a, yes, we had a bit of a Q&A. And we just wanted to highlight that you were meeting our colleagues at the School of Bioscience, and the head of the school is called Diana Tillevik. We have students that about 1,647 students for the moment studying at the School of Bioscience, 48 staff, 8 professors. And this special focus, as we have been talking about, is system biology, bioinformatics, infection biology. Subjects are within bioinformatics, bioscience, as well as system biology, ecology, and cognitive neuroscience. And we had the Q&A here. So now we're going to continue talking a bit about the international programs. And Sarah, over to you.
Yes, thank you. So, like we said, we have quite a few programs that you guys can choose from within bioscience. But if you are interested in another program, or you have a sister or a friend or a mother or somebody else that you know that want to apply to our school, we also want to inform you of some of our other programs that you have the availability to apply for right now. So we have 24 international programs. 4 of those are at bachelor's level at 3 years duration, and 20 of those are master's programs between 1 and 2 years in duration. And these are in different fields, but behavioral sciences, bioscience, business and marketing, engineering and technology, game development, health sciences, and informatics. Our bachelor's programs, if we go to the next slide, you can see them here. The 4 of them is biomedicine, molecular biodesign, molecular bioinformatics, as well as cybersecurity and network administration. And our 1-year master's programs are artificial intelligence for bioinformatics and biomedicine. And the asterisk there means that these run in the spring semester, just so you're aware of that. For the autumn semester, we have business development and marketing, cognitive neuroscience, mind and brain, data science, games aesthetics and narration, infection biology, molecular biotechnology, and molecular ecology. And for our 2-year masters, we have biomarkers in molecular medicine, computational methods in engineering, data science, game development, both player experience and serious games, infection biology, intelligent automation, molecular biotechnology, molecular ecology, privacy information and cybersecurity, and finally systems biology, and with a specialization in bioinformatics, like we talked about today. So you can see the QR code right here for the program web pages. And if you're interested in any of these programs, you can find all of them on our website, where there are syllabuses or syllabi. Yeah. Syllabi, I think, is the plural word. I'm not entirely sure. But you have the syllabus for each of the programs on the web pages right there. And you can just read more about them, and feel free to contact us at any time if you have questions about these. Yeah.
Yes.
The bioscience then. Do you want to talk a little bit about this, Karin?
Yeah, exactly. I'm just going to repeat a bit about it. We have been talking about most of the programs here, but I just want to highlight, since all of you are into bioscience who are participating in this webinar. So we have master programs in bioscience, i.e. for bioinformatics, it's a 1 year that is in the spring. We have bioinformatics in molecular medicine, that is a 2-year, biomedicine 1 year, cognitive neuroscience, mind and brain, a 1-year program, infection biology 1 or 2 year, molecular biotechnology 1 or 2 year, molecular ecology 1 or 2 year, system biology, specialization bioinformatics a 2 year. We have been talking about them, and we just wanted to remind you about them again. And that there are some other programs also within the School of Bioscience that we have had webinars about before, that you can find on our website. Just remember, the programs are closely connected to ongoing research that Maria was talking about earlier as well. Students are prepared for careers in life in science and biotechnology, and it is the home of Hybro for a groundbreaking diagnostic tool for sepsis, just to mention some things. And Sarah, do you want to talk about integration with the business community?
Yes, absolutely, because this is one of the cool things about our university, because we have so many partners across different industries. So we actually collaborate with world-leading companies. Even though we are quite a small school, like we mentioned before, we do have a lot of these partnerships. So for instance, within the automotive, we work with Volvo and Scania, which I'm sure you've heard of. In technology and electronics, we work with companies like ABB, Huawei, and Microsoft. In manufacturing and engineering, we work with Sandvik and IKEA, another Swedish export we should probably add to that slide in the beginning. In healthcare, we work with the Swedish company AstraZeneca. Is it Swedish? Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. And in food and agriculture, we work closely together with the food brand Arla, which is also Swedish. These partnerships reflect trust, quality, and a shared vision of the future. And US students really benefit from this here at our university because it helps you form real connections with the industry and get real world experience while you're still students, which definitely improves your career prospects. I know a lot of you have asked about career prospects today, and this industrial partnerships that we have definitely helps you with your career prospects. So it's a benefit of our school for sure. Karin, do you want to tell us a little bit about the Science Park Skövde?
Of course. As I showed you earlier on the map, we're really integrated with the Skövde Science Park here. And it is located as a part of the campus, basically. And it is a center of research and innovation that was established in 1999. The aim was to create this interaction between the surrounding business community and the academia and the university. And another aim with Science Park has been to help students who have been graduated from the university, mostly within the IT field and games, to start up their own companies, which is done in business incubators. We also have something called the Swing Game Arena. Please tell us, Sarah.
Yes, I'll tell you quickly about it because it's a really cool space. It's a technology and research park, and it binds academy with business and society. It's located right here in Skövde, and it's actually one of the most innovative developmental environments within the international computer games industry today, right here in Skövde, which is so cool. It consists of over 200 game developers and over 500 gaming students. And it has been a very important part of the Swedish gaming industry for years now, which is really cool. Every year, Sweden Game Arena also hosts one of Sweden's largest conferences within gaming. So that's also really cool because all of these like super big names within the game industry, they just gather here in Skövde. It's a hub for all of them, which is really cool. And then we also have Assad Industrial Innovation Arena, which is another cool project.
Yes, it is absolutely. So it is like a really great example of this collaboration between the academia and industry as well, because ASAR offers manufacturing and technology companies a world-class innovation environment to provide new solutions for the future. It's basically a showroom where different stakeholders within the manufacturing industry or technology company can find relevant contacts. So really, really cool place to be. And we also have a lot of research environment. We have been talking a bit about that before. Just to mention some digital health research, organizing for sustainable development, virtual engineering, a lot more. Please check out the QR code and then you can check out like the super cool research environments and research we have done, for example, about sepsis that we have been talking a bit about today. So please check out them because it is also very important for you when you start here to find out like which fields we are really good at and have our specialization in. And there's also, when you come here, we mentioned it a bit before, there are some free Swedish courses because, you know, learning Swedish is actually one of the best way to feel at home here and boost your career, of course. These Swedish courses will help you, you know, to settle in, understanding the Swedish culture. Is why we are obsessed about queuing up for things, standing in line, being on time, you know, all those things. You will get a bit of understanding about that. And you will be able to settle in more smoothly, make local friends, and more job opportunities after you graduate if you know some basic Swedish. And you know, it is easier if you know a bit of Swedish to get a job later on in Sweden. And the Swedish society and Swedish culture, that is 3 credits. It will start during the introduction program. It will give you this introduction to Swedish culture, society, and basic Swedish phrases. It's only free of charge if it's taken in the first semester. And then we have Swedish for foreign students. oral proficiency and listening comprehension. That is 7.5 credits, is basic communication, how to pronounce things and stuff like that. It is free of tuition fee if you take it during your second semester of studies. So, when you come here, make the best of your Swedish experience and take these classes. And we're just going to go through, talk a bit about this student life, and soon Madalena will come and give you a bit of more information. Sarah is just going to give you a short introduction to the learning and teaching style here.
Of course, yeah. I always feel like I'm not the right person to talk about student life because we have Madalena here. She's obviously the pro at this, but I will try to give you a little bit of an introduction to student life here in Sweden. One thing that's important to mention, and that I think, especially for a lot of international students is quite different here in Sweden, is the learning and teaching style that we have here. And the reason I say this is because your studies are full-time. It's going to be 40 hours a week that you're expected to be studying. But here in Sweden, we're very focused on independent learning, independent thought, and all of that. So you might only have like 4 classes one week. You might have 1 class the next week. And that doesn't mean that you have a lot of free time that week. You actually are still expected to study those full 40 hours. And that might be studying independently or with your friends, reading course material, going through things, preparing for presentations, stuff like that. I know I've talked to some other bioscience students. They've said that like they've spent a full day in the lab one day and then the next day, like a little bit less. So, it's quite, I think she said like, oh, it mimics like how it is to really work in a lab some days. And I think that's also a really cool part of these types of programs. But just so you're aware of that, like it's full-time studies, but there's a lot of independent learning. You'll also find another thing that is interesting to you guys, I think, and that's our flat organization system. And that means that we are always on first name basis with each other. So we call each other Karin and Sara and Maria. We never say Miss Algerin or Mrs. Algerin, for instance. Like we just don't do that here in Sweden. So for a lot of international students, I think that's very different. But that also means that students and teachers tend to have a very close relationship with each other. And one student the other day, she told me that I don't feel like it's my teacher, I feel like it's my colleague. And I think that's just a really cool way of looking at it. And it definitely represents our style here at the University of Skövde for sure. Like I said before, we have 2/3 academic staff here in Skövde, and that also means that our education is very student focused, and the teachers here, they're really here to help you guys and support you guys, and they focus on developing all of these skills together with you. So you develop your critical and analytical thinking skills, your independent research skills, your group working skills, your problem solving skills, and all of those skills are very helpful when preparing for your future career. We are also really proud to say that we are an international campus, and like Maria said before, a lot of the courses at the School of Bioscience are actually given in English. So it's a very international institution, and our whole school is like that. Like I said before, we have more than 60 nationalities here at our school. So you definitely will not be alone when you're coming here as an international student. You have a lot of people that you can connect with easily that have been through the same thing as you have, for sure. So yeah, you won't want to miss out on this experience. We also have great student support, Karin, and you know a lot about that, right?
Yes, a bit. It is really great. I must say that it's like our colleagues who works as studying career counselor as well as with the student with disability are just amazing with helping our students when they come here. So we have the studying career counselors. They will help you before and when you are here and after your studies as well. So, they are the best in guiding you into different courses and things like that and the programs. So they are great, just basically. They will help you to identify available paths and opportunities in order to get where you want to be. They also, when you come here, they will give you tons of tips on how to organize your studies as well. Because Sarah was talking a bit about that, you know, like 40 hours a week, and how do you structure that if you're doing a lot of group works and stuff like that, they will give you the best tips ever. And then we also feel that if you have dyslexia, ADHD, or any other form of disability, it should not prevent you from studying here at the University of Skövde. So then you have our colleague Virpi and another colleague called Annika, and they are the one who will help you to, you know, to make arrangements for you to study here. So it's like it could be that you will, you know, get a bit of, if you have dyslexia, get a bit of extra time when you're writing an exam and things like that. So we have various kinds of targeted study support and also adaptation for you to make your studies easier. But Sarah, what is the favorite place for the students to be?
Usually they say the library. And from this picture here, I don't understand why, because I need to switch this out. And I say this every webinar, but then I forget to do it because, yeah, this is not doing it justice. The library is definitely a much better place than this picture shows. It's actually really cool because not only does the library have like free access to books and articles, both in like physical and digital form, and great study group rooms and all of that. There's also like exercise balls that you can sit on when you're studying. There are like exercise bikes that you can use. There's even this little cube you can sit in, and it's so cool because it's like soundproof, right? So the first time I was there, somebody told me like, go in there and scream as loud as you can, and we won't be able to hear you. And I thought they were kidding, but they were not. Like it's so cool. So there are a lot of different things, and they really try to adapt it to different types of study styles, which I think is really cool. The people that work there are part of the study support center as well, and they're so knowledgeable about all of this, and they can definitely help you guys out. So you can book an appointment with them if you want to learn more about your, like, how to structure your academic writing process or your study strategies, how to do referencing and citation, for instance. So yeah, there's a lot of help that you can get from the library as well, which I think is really great. And we also have student life, a lot of extracurricular activities, and I'm sure Madalena will mention some of those because she's involved with that. But Karin, you could just say something, maybe.
Yes, of course, because education is better with friends. So it
Yeah.
means that we have special interest groups. Just to mention the student union. And the student union is run by students, for students, and work with issues that affect students at the university. So the student union is a non-profit organization that is run democratically, and they have representatives all over the place. So when there's a committee or anything that is going on, for example, when I need to sign an agreement, I have to go to the vice chancellor during a meeting. Then there will be the vice chancellor, the pro-vice chancellor, and then the president of the student union, as well as the vice president of the student. So, and no matter which committee I'm a part of, there will always be, almost always, I would say there might be some exceptions, a representative from the student union. So we work quite a lot with, you know, with having this democratic influence of students in all our processes. And I think Madalena will talk a bit about ESN later on because she's very involved in that organization. So I'm going to save that treat for you, Madalena, to develop further. And here you can see just some voices from our from our students. We can see Teresa from Nigeria. She thinks that the best thing with the university is the strong emphasis on practical learning and innovation. Elliot from France feels that one of his best experiences have been working on hand-on projects. And Bosra, she felt that Skövde was the best place for her to kickstart her career. And Faith Grace, she felt that international education has also expanded my experience and perspective. So just some voices about how it is to study here. And Sarah, how do we start? When you come here, what will we start with?
Of course, the international introduction. And this is actually really special for me because the international introduction was my first week at work this year as well, because I started working here this year, and the international introduction was like my introduction to the university. So I really got to experience this like the way that the students do, which was so cool because this flat organization that I talked about earlier, like you can really see that during the international introductions. Like students will eat lunch with teachers, and like everybody is walking around campus talking to each other, and it's just like it's such a good experience, you know. It's really fun. And we organized this international introduction especially for you international students. And I would say like the main thing that is like the best thing about this week, and I'm not sure Madalena will agree, but I think so, is that it's such a good way to meet friends. Because I think it's a lot of people coming here, like they're so worried, like, what if I don't meet anybody that I can hang out with? And what if I'm going to be lonely? I'm coming from a different country and like, I don't know anybody in Sweden. And like, it's not going to be a problem, trust me, because like the first day of this international introduction this year, like everybody was quite quiet. They were keeping to themselves and like, you know, sitting at their own table at lunch maybe. And like we were trying to connect to them and they were just like a little bit shy. And then as the week went on, by the Friday, like it was like they'd known each other their entire lives, basically. Like everybody was friends. They were hanging out, and it was just like, yeah, it's such a good week, really. And you can definitely meet people that are going to be your friends for probably the rest of your life. Wouldn't you say, Madalena? Yeah. So during this week, you get to, except for meeting friends, of course, you get to learn about our academic procedures here at the University of Skövde, see our facilities, our services. You get to do a campus tour and a bus tour of our town. And there's even a social program for you guys that you can take part in. So it starts early in the morning here at campus, and then it goes on like into the late hours, I think, some days if you want to. So yeah, I wouldn't want to miss out on that. And you can find the introduction program in this QR code right here. But right now we're keeping that for our spring students that are coming in the spring. So you just have to wait until they've had their amazing introduction week until you get to read about yours. So save this QR code for later. We also have amazing exchange possibilities for the students here at Karin.
Yes, Maria mentioned that before as well. So we have study abroad. You can study abroad or have a traineeship abroad. It depends on, how long your program is. Please check out Go Global for partner universities, and you can see more. Sometimes we have what we call short mobilities, blended intensive programs, that it could be about 3 credits or more, and it means that you will you will have a virtual part where you will do your studies, and a physical where you will go abroad, or students will come here. So these are some of the possibilities that you will be able to participate in. Maria mentioned also before, Ingenium, 10 universities have come together to create this European University Alliance. I think there might be 40, 50 university alliance all over Europe. They just keep on increasing all the time. So that was the last time I checked the numbers. It could be way much more. But for us, we belong to the Ingenium Alliance. So we have 9 universities all over Europe. You can see it. It's in Ireland, Spain, Italy, Greece, and Romania, and France, and Germany, just to mention some. And we have our focus areas within education, research, and entrepreneurship. What is so great about this is that it is like a European network. So as mentioned, we belong to, and we're working together within this network to create like mobility and experience, like mobility opportunities. As mentioned, these short mobilities, we have something called junior winter school and junior summer school, or senior winter school and senior summer school. This year, or not this year, but we're planning for at the beginning of February next year, we're going to be the host for Ingenium Junior Winter School. So then we're going to have students from all of our 10 partners participating in a blended intensive program, a short mobility. So it will be lovely. So these are the kind of things that are going on within the Ingenium alliances. We are in the future, we hope to have more joint programs. We have one, but also credit recognition, and so it will be easier for you to go between different countries and universities as well. And we have also had like European-wide hackathons and different co-creative projects and so on. And it's a very future-oriented education. And well, we're just going to mention, well, now we have been talking about, everything here about studying, and now you're going to get some costs because, of course, it will cost you a bit. Well, it depends, but Sarah will explain for who it will cost and what it will cost.
Exactly. So I hope you guys are still awake at this point because we've been talking for a while, but we're saving Magdalena for you guys for in a little bit. So keep with us because we're almost at her presentation and it's so good. So you are going to want to stay. But I'm just going to run through the tuition fees for the academic year of 2026-2027. And these apply to non-EU EEA citizens. So for bioscience, cognitive neuroscience, informatics, engineering, and game development, these are going to be the prices. So for the one-year master's programs, it's going to be 155,000 Swedish crowns. For the two-year master's programs, it's going to be 310,000 Swedish crowns. And for the three-year bachelor's programs, it's going to be 465,000 Swedish crowns. And I often get the question of how these are paid. You pay everything at once, you pay a little bit at a time. And the answer to that is that you are going to pay it in installments before every semester. So you can basically divide the amount of money by the amount of semesters, and then you get the amount that you will pay before every semester. And it's important that you pay before the semester starts. And the installments are going to be 77,500 Swedish crowns, and that's around 7,000 euros. And on the next slide, we can see the tuition fees for the business and marketing as well. And that's going to be 110,000 Swedish crowns and paid in installments of 55,000 Swedish crowns, around 5,000 euros. We also have some more costs to consider though, Karin.
Yes. How much it costs to live here. So food is a bit expensive in living in Sweden. So when I'm saying the numbers, you can just basically take away a zero and then you will get what it's ish about in euros. So the food is about 3,000 Swedish crowns a month. Accommodation is about 4,000 Swedish crowns a month. Local travel about 650 Swedish crowns, but it depends on where you live. So for example, if you live in Skövde, usually you don't need that because it's walking distance basically everywhere. Phone, internet, about 300 Swedish crowns. And then you have all the other things, clothes, books for your programs and stuff like that. It could be about 2,634 Swedish crowns. Altogether, 10,584 Swedish crowns, about 970 euros. You can find more information about accommodation and budget at Study in Sweden. And Sarah, where do I live if I come here?
Well, Karin, you live in Mariestad, which is like 30 minutes away from here, so I don't think you have to worry about this. But if you're coming from a different country, and I saw a lot of people, but some of you in the Q&A asked about accommodation. So I will try to go over that as efficiently as I can here. So at the University of Skövde, we don't have guaranteed student housing. However, we do have 4 accommodational areas, and they are with furnished rooms. The rent is going to be around 365 to 460 euros a month for these. And it's important to remember that if you're coming with pets or with family members, you're not allowed to stay in these. It's just for single students coming. And you can apply for these as soon as you receive your admission letter. So it's important that you apply like right away so you get in the queue for these because the spots are limited. If you don't wish to live, like if you're coming with your family, if you're coming with pets, or you just want to live in an apartment that is not furnished, maybe, or something like that, I would recommend looking at the largest landlord here in Skövde. You can find them through the QR code here. They're called Skövdebostäder, and they don't have furnished rooms. However, they do have both student apartments and regular apartments, and families and pets are allowed in these. And we've put here that you can put your name in the queue when you receive your admission, but I talked to another student the other day and she gave me the best tip, and it's that you can put your name in the queue like right now. So the way that it works is that you put your name in the queue. It's free to put your name in the queue, and every day you get certain amount of points. I think maybe you get 1 point per day, and then your points obviously add up, right? So you guys aren't coming until next fall, and that's almost a year of points that you're going to be having when you're looking at apartments. So I think, was it Madalena that told me that you did this, or somebody else that said that they did this, and it was like they were like ahead in the line already. They could basically pick an apartment of their choice, which was like such a good thing for them. So this is definitely the best tip that I can give you guys. If you're looking, like if you're worried about accommodation, just sign up for the queue like right now. And even if you're not coming, like it doesn't really matter. Maybe you're coming next year, or so just sign up for the queue since it's free and everything. And I also know a lot of people ask about scholarships, so Karin will tell you a little bit about that as well.
Yes. So the University of Skövde has a master scholarship that it covers 50% of the tuition fee. It is a tuition fee waiver. It is available for non-European EAE master students who choose the University of Skövde as their first option. The application is open. The deadline is on the 10th of February 2026. And it's very important when you do this when you apply for the master scholarships, make sure that you motivate why it's important for you to study here, how it will improve your future career, why you're interested in the subjects and stuff like that. And then it's also like you have to record a video, you have to write a letter and a couple of things more. But check out the website, and then you will get more information. But focus a lot of why you find it that we have good research, or why the program is so interesting for you. Then we also have something called Scholarship for Global Professionals. It is an amazing scholarship. It covers full tuition fee plus living costs, and it's available for master applicants from 32 eligible countries. The application is through the Swedish Institute from 9th of February to 25th of February 2026. However, they are changing the criteria for which universities and which programs that will be able to get the scholarships. So we really don't know if all of our programs will be accepted to be one of those programs that you can apply for a scholarship for. We don't have the information for the moment, so we will find out later on. But please check that out because it is a good scholarship. It's the same with Pioneering Women in STEAM. It is also a great one, covers full tuition fee and living costs. It is available for female students from 10 countries. We don't know which countries it is because we will know when the application opens, and it's via the Swedish Institute, and it's open from 9th of February until the 25th of February. And again, we don't know which programs are eligible for this scholarship. We will find out later on. And now we will head over to Madalena because you're going to do the students' success story. So I'm going to let you start to share your screen and talk about all the amazing things you have done here and your best tips about living and studying here. So you will give all the important insights about that.
Okay, are you seeing? Wait, what is this? I need to present, but it's something in front. Okay. Now, oh, sorry. Are you seeing?
Yes, now we see. Perfect.
Okay. I'm gonna try to be very clarifying. So first I'm gonna talk a bit about me, then I'm gonna talk about studying in Skövde specifically, and then living in Skövde, daily life, student life, and more things that you might want to know. So first about me. So my name is Madalena. I come from Lisbon, Portugal. I did my bachelor's in biology, and then I arrived here last September, and I'm doing my master's in infection biology, the 2 years master. So yeah, I'm about to start my thesis, and I chose Sweden first because of the weather. So Portugal is a very hot country, and I was dying for some snow and for some good winter, but also because of all of the opportunities that are in Sweden, and the way it's better to work, and you have more opportunities. So that's the mainly reason why I chose Sweden, and I chose Skövde because of the program. It was the one that was more in alliance with what I was looking for. So yes. So a bit about studying in Skövde. The first thing, I think it was a lot mentioned. A lot of the things that I'm gonna say were already mentioned, but I do want to emphasize them. So available teachers are ready to help. I remember last year I was super confused, like, should I do a PhD now? Should I wait and work and have some experience? And I remember one of my teachers, John, he stayed with me after one seminar, and he talked with me, and he said, well, I think this can be an advantage of doing a PhD now. This can be an advantage of working now. So see what you are actually looking for. So that was really, really helpful. Also, Maria is here. She has been replying to my questions about exams that I have to redo or other things, and she's always super helpful. And the thing that you see, I just called Maria to Maria. That still amazes me. How you don't care. Well, Professor Algerin, it's still amazing. And then learning practice, what we learn in theory. This is actually something that happens. So every time I'm in the lab, I'm having these self-learning seminars that are always made with teachers that will guide you through the right questions to the right answer to some questions. And they are about the theory of what you're doing in a lab. So for example, I was doing some sequencing project, and I didn't have the best results. And my teacher was like, okay, you learned this in the theory. What can you do to improve your results? You just learned this. So that is really, really helpful because you're already going to the lab with some knowledge of what you're actually doing. And then education with a purpose sometimes is very overwhelming when you have some labs to do, and in your programs there's also some kind of tests that you have to do before going to the lab. But that's everything has a purpose, you don't see any assignment, any exam, any test that you have to take that doesn't have a purpose, because of course you cannot go into the lab if you don't know what you're going to do in the lab, right? That's common knowledge. And so I think it can be hard, but knowing the purpose of it makes that it's less hard to do it. At least it's easier to not feel stressed about it. And then, of course, a small city. I have friends from all over the divisions of Skövde. So, for example, I was I think it was yesterday, I was having fika with, I'm going to talk about fika after. That's a big point of Sweden. But I was having coffee with two friends. One is doing the same course as me, and the other one is doing engineering. And at some point they were talking about, my friend was talking about their thesis. And at some point they were like, oh, actually, maybe we could do some project out of this together, and this comes because Skövde is a small university where you can talk with all of the departments. So you can actually see these interdisciplinary teams or something like that. So yes. So living in Skövde, I have a bunch of pictures to make sure that I cover everything. So the first is a canne boulet. If you don't know what is a canne boulet, you really need to come. Like, this is your sign to come, because it's amazing. It's a cinnamon roll, it go from Sweden, and you always have it at fika. Fika is the time of the day where you take some time to rest, take a coffee, talk with your friends. Exactly, Sarah. Just enjoy life. And it's the best. I think it's my favorite culture Swedish thing. So yeah, always have a cannibal and a coffee, and you're already almost a Swedish person. And then you have Billingen in the winter, because Billingen is amazing in all seasons. But in winter, if you're if you're like me, from a country where there's no snow, in winter, Billingen is amazing. And you can go for a walk. There's so much activities to do. In the winter, they have a ski slope. They have an ice skating rink. You can also do mountain bike. You can go for hikes. You can go for runs. You can go cross-country skiing. Like, you have so much activities that you can do. So also, you're stressed about exams, just go 30-minute walk. You're in the nature, completely in the nature in Billingen. So that is amazing. And the third thing is that actually you have seasons in Sweden, and I think that's amazing. You actually see the fall, you see the spring, you see the autumn, you see the summer, and that's actually marked seasons that leave the city beautiful. Beautiful. Also, it's perfect because you already know your body starts to adjust for what is coming, you know. So yeah. So student life. First thing I say, I met a lot of people that are here more focused on studying, and that's totally valid. But you're home, you're away from home, you know. Having friends help a lot going through stuff. So on the first picture, there's a bonfire, because everywhere in Sweden you can do, not everywhere. There's specific places, but they are very, you can find them very easily. Please don't do fires anywhere. I'm not saying that. But there are a lot of places where you can do bonfires with your friends, and there's always like some place to, you know, gather and play a little music, be around. And then we have International Week. So I'm part of ESN, the Erasmus Student Network. And this year we made an International Week, I think with over 20 nationalities or more. And it's basically everyone came and showed a bit of their country. It was amazing. And this also helps that feeling of, oh, I'm with people that also don't have anyone. So, you know, it's better to have someone, not that don't have anyone, but it's not home. So you can be each other's homes. And that is a really, really great feeling. And then we have a barbecue, because just like the bonfire, anywhere you can find a place for barbecue. And as soon as it's not raining, you do a barbecue with your friends and you enjoy life, and you know, you just enjoy laughter and everything, and it's amazing. So actually, I wanted to say that this group of girls that appear in two photos, I was my best friends last year. Sadly, they're not here anymore, but I met them in International Week, super randomly, and it was amazing. And you know, partying, you can also party at home, do like a small gathering with your friends, or you can have game nights, because every Monday, as ESN, have game nights with some fika, and we spend the whole night playing board games, and students love it. We always have around 40 students that come every Monday to play board games and gathering, especially in the winter. That's really nice. And then, of course, you have the student pub that does theme nights every week. So, for example, on this third picture, the theme was Miami Vice. And I think that's amazing, because you get to go beyond your creativity and be like, okay, this week is cowboy night. Let me see my wardrobe. What can I do? Because they're not like very rigid. Like you don't have to be completely a full cowboy to enter. No, but it's like, but it helps your creativity, and it's also super fun. And then we have a karaoke bar in Lisbon, not in Lisbon, in Skövde. And I think that is amazing. That's a big plus in Skövde. You have a karaoke bar every Friday and every Saturday. I often end up my nights there with my friends, and it's amazing. Also, really good way to learn Swedish because they do play the Swedish songs. And then, of course, the overalls and the sittings. So there's a lot of traditions in studying in Sweden. And in Sweden, you have these overalls, as you can see, and each color belongs to one of the schools in the university. So the green one is Bioscience, yours. And then you have the blue one is economy. And then the gray one is games. And then the white one is engineering. And you have you wear them all the time, and then you put patches on them, and they basically tell all of the story of you while you were in Sweden. And I think that's really nice. Plus you have sittings. This first image is from a sitting. It's basically themed dinners where you just sit and have a meal with your friends, have a lot of fun. There's a lot of specs involved, like you have to act or something like that. So it is really, really fun. This one was cowboys. Yeah. And then I have traveling, because everyone talked about Lagom. And if you are an international student, especially if you're not from Europe, you want to travel. And if you're from Europe, you also want to travel. And Skövde, it's Lagom to travel because you're exactly in the middle of Sweden, so you can explore Sweden, either Stockholm, Gothenburg, the whole area of Skövde. It's beautiful. I have some pictures after, and it's beautiful. But also, Sweden is in the middle of the Baltic country, the Nordic countries. So you can easily go to Oslo, to Helsinki, to Copenhagen, to even to Poland, just a short flight away. So that's also really nice if you also want to do some traveling. Here, I have some around the Skövde area. So in the first one, there's a museum in one of the Gothenburg Islands. So Gothenburg has a gigantic archipelago. The second one is a castle, the Laco Castle, that is in one of the lakes around Skövde. And it's beautiful and very well preserved. So it's amazing for history and the area around it. It's beautiful. And then you have Hjo, that it's a little tourist place for summer. And it has a beach, so you can go and have a swim. I know people that swim there. I never did because cold water, it's not for me, but I know a lot of people that did and they love it. Plus these little cabins are saunas, so you can also enjoy the typical Swedish sauna and then cold water. So yes, so that was my presentation. I just want to tell you that about housing, we in ESN, in the Instagram, we have a live that we did with the university that can tell you a lot of things about housing in Skövde and very detailed information. This is my email. You can also find me on Instagram in the university page. I appear somewhere there. So yeah, any questions, please ask me.
Thank you so much, Madalena. It was really lovely to see that. It's always so fun when someone is showing the area where you have been growing up from, the international perspective. It's like, oh, I wasn't aware of that. And oh, that's so interesting. So it's like every time I sit on this webinar and a student tells me, I go like, sit and make notes. This is where I need to go. So it's like in Sweden we say that you are a home blind. It means that you sometimes don't see all the amazing things you have around you. So, but Madalena, when you came here from Lisbon, which were the culture clashes, which were like, oh, crazy Swedish people, or you thought it was super weird?
So there was some of them. We can start with shoes. So you don't wear shoes in the house. Never, 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 never. In Portugal, you never do that because also your shoes can be smelling. So, your feet can be smelling. So you never do that. And here you always take off your shoes. So you always have to have your feet clean. And of course, the flat education, like for me, it's still very amusing. How you say hello, so you never dare kiss like on the cheek a Swedish person. You never dare do that. And in Portugal, it's like you always do that, you know. So yeah, I think that was the major differences.
Mm. That is true. It's like, the whole thing with shoes. It was like I had some friends from Spain and France over, and I was like, don't bring your shoes in. That is like that is one of the worst things you can do. And then they were like speculating. They were like, yeah, I can understand because all of your floors are in wood, and then it might be scratches and stuff like that. But also in Sweden, especially during the winter, you will bring like a pair of extra indoor shoes. So it's like that is because otherwise you might be a bit frozen and so then you have special, especially among the older generation, my parents' generation, they would, and my grandparents, they would never enter a house without bringing their indoor shoes. So they would come with a little bag with indoor shoes, put up, the outdoor shoes on with the indoor shoes.
Yeah.
So it's like I actually have my office shoes, indoor shoes. So it's which one I
Yeah, she
have.
does. She does.
So that
Yeah.
is like it's so funny when you say that. It is, yeah, and the kisses on the cheek. It's like they used to tease me when I was living in Spain that we don't know how to kiss people on the cheeks. It's like it's like a cash dance.
Yes.
Yes. No, I understand.
So it's so
Uh,
funny. It's so correct. It's like if you're lucky, you might get a hug. You know?
yes.
Yeah. When the Swedish people gives you a hug, like
Yeah,
that's like one of the best feelings ever. It's like
yeah,
I win in Sweden. I won.
Yeah.
yeah. You're accepted.
Yeah.
But what are your best tips? So when the students come here next year, what would you give them? Like, this is the best tips, things I learned, I wish I would have known coming here.
Okay. So International Week, do it. Do it because it's like you get to know not only people, but information that it's like 100% needed. Do all of the activities on the International Week. A lot of people just skip one or the other, like don't do it. And if you are able, because a lot of people cannot do the full week, but if you are able to do the full week, come and do the full week. Second, if you're from a country with sun, take vitamin D from October. Last winter, it was hard because I was not taking vitamin D. And right now, from the 1st of October, I started taking them because, especially if you're from a country with sun, where you're used to it, you need it. Otherwise, it's gonna be impossible to talk, to work. More things, enjoy, like do stuff outside of what you would do. When I arrived here, I was like, no one knows me, right? So I can experience because I won't have people telling, you're doing that, but you don't seem like the person that would do that. People don't know you. People don't know if you're a hiker or not. So you can go for a hike and experience a hike. And if you don't like it, you don't have to go again, And so I think enjoying and not putting limits to what you can do, or like don't limitate yourself just because you think you don't like it. So yeah. I think also my friends, what we would do is when we gathered one time, we all understood that, every Sunday we used to have a Sunday family lunch in our home countries. So what we started doing was Sunday lunch, but us. So it's not like all of your family is gathering in one place and you're not doing anything. That sometimes can be a bit more sad, or you feel sadder because of that. No, because you're with your new family, that it's there for you. Like, so yeah, I think those are the best tips.
That's great
Thank you.
advice, Madalena. We actually have somebody in the chat that says, well done, Madalena. Yeah, I definitely
Thank
agree.
you.
And asks, tell us more about your thesis topic and where you intend to do it. Have you decided?
Yeah, actually, I just got the email like in the end of last week. So basically, as they already explained before, your thesis, you can do it either on the university or outside of the university. Because I'm a person that takes time to adjust, I thought that maybe it's better to stay in Havda, to don't move again. Also because in the university, it's not like there were not options that I didn't like in the university, because I did like a lot of the topics in the university. So I just decided to stay, and I'm gonna do my thesis with sepsis. So I don't know how much can I say, but I can tell you that it involves sequencing and different pipelines of E. coli, and I'm gonna test. And I'm gonna test it. I don't know how much I can disclose,
course, yeah.
but I'm really excited. I'm just writing now my thesis proposal, for it to be approved, and then is actually starting to do thesis work.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Madalena.
Thank you.
And is it okay if you put your student ambassador email in
Of
the...
course.
So, and then if you have any more questions, you can just send Madalena an email. And we will continue now with some information about how to apply, and then we will open up for questions. So let's see. Oh, now you're seeing the wrong thing. I'm just going to share the right screen here. Perfect. Now I'm sharing the right screen. Yes. So we'll continue a bit more about, yes, you have heard the student's success story, and now we're just going to give you some short information about how to apply. So first of all applications are made via universityadmission.se. That is like the national application site for basically all universities. It is important that you submit supporting documents. Non-European applicants must pay 900 Swedish crowns as an application fee. If you don't do that, they're not even going to look into your application. So that is the thing. The first admission round is from the 16th of October until the 15th of January. Important as well. So we were talking a bit earlier about the fact that, university admission, the information there, you can see here. It is important that you check from which country you have your degree. So for example, if you check here, let's see, India. And then you can see here, master's application, meeting the general entry requirements, meeting the English requirements. Then you have all that information about, former studies, English tests, IELTS, and stuff like that. You can find out more about that as well. And if you're at the final year of your studies as well. And English language requirements, here you can find everything about if you're meeting the English requirement in English test. For example, IELTS, you need to have 6.5 an overall score on that, and then you'll find a lot of more information here as well about that. Our colleague Andrea is going to have a specific webinar about how to do a successful application about a couple of weeks from now. Please check that out because she will go more firmly into it. I'm just going to give you some short information. And remember, application deadline, very important. In Sweden, deadline are kept like really sharp. So the 15th of January, you need to have uploaded all your documents. On the 2nd of February, you need to have paid your application fee. Deadline, as mentioned, they will not look into your application otherwise. The 2nd of February is also the deadline for document fee exempt status. So if you're a European citizen, then you don't need to pay these 900 Swedish crowns. But it's also you need to upload supporting documents as well. On the 26th of March, you will get the results published if you have been approved or not for the program. And the university will contact you if you need to reply in August, September. It will start, this semester will start. Required documents for the master programs is a bachelor degree certificate, original language and official English translation. It's very important to remember the whole official English translation. So no ChatGPTs, no things like that. It needs to be stamped, it needs to be a professional one. Perhaps not stamped, but some way to verify its authenticity. And you need also to have a full grade transcript, all semesters, original language, as well as an official English translation. Proof of English skills, it could be, as mentioned, English 6 or see country-specific requirements that I showed you before. Check out your country as well. A passport copy and a final bachelor year statement of if you're studying and doing your final bachelor year, you have to have a statement of enrolled certificate. This is how this final year of bachelor student, this enrollment certificate you need. You can use the QR code to find it. And then we also have some migration requirements. And migration requirements, it is for people who come from a non-European or a non-EEA state country. You should be admitted into full-time studies. It is 40 hours a week, as mentioned. Studies must be campus-based. You need to be able to support yourself during the time you're applying. You have to have paid a tuition fee before you send in the application for non-European EEA students. And please, I just want to highlight, if you're coming with your family, you need to apply at the same time when you're applying for a residence permit for your studies. You need to also put your family, your spouse, your kids into the application. Otherwise, it will be very difficult for you to bring them here later on, because then it will be another type of rules and laws, and you need to earn way much more money and stuff like that. So please bring them into the application directly. Upon graduation, you have the possibility to apply for residence permit to look for a job, do an internship, or open your own business in Sweden up to a year afterwards. And I'm just thinking, Sarah, do you want to just mention some of our online activities that we have?
Yes, of course. So if you're here today, you already know that we have webinars. If you're interested in any of the other programs, some of the webinars have already passed, but we do still have more webinars coming. So if you want to come to any of those, you're very welcome to sign up. I don't have the link. Do you have the link for that, Karin? Do you want to put it in the chat for the webinars?
Yes, I think if I open it, it will open on
okay. Yeah, I can see
if it's okay.
I'll see if I can find it in just a second. I'll just also quickly tell you about our virtual open house. This is a digital open house that we're hosting on December. My gosh, is it 3rd or 4th?
I don't remember it by heart, but
sorry, guys.
We'll check it out, and I'll
either way, I'll just like to invite you all to that, because we're talking about all of the programs at the digital open house. You can meet all of the program coordinators, students from all of the programs. We will have different breakout rooms where you'll be able to just ask questions and learn about all of the programs and talk about how to apply and things like that with us as well. So I definitely recommend coming to that, and I'll post a link to that as well in the chat in just a second once I find it. So
it's on the 3rd of December.
It's on the 3rd, yes. I was like, is it 3rd or 4th? Yeah, okay, perfect. So I'll post the links for those things in the chat just in a second. We also have, you've met Madalena here today. She's one of our student ambassadors. We also have a couple other student ambassadors as well. I haven't updated this slide because Madalena just started this semester with us, and we have another girl, Taylor, who just started as well. But you can find all of them in this QR code, and they all represent different programs. So if you're interested in any of the programs, you can just contact any of them and they will help you out with any questions that you have, basically. We also have some ambassadors for study in Sweden. And what they do is they share their stories on study in Sweden to basically market studying here in Sweden. So all of these are students that have previously been with us at the University of Skövde, and you can read all of their stories in these QR codes. And I recommend that you do because they're so interesting. And I just love reading about student stories. I think it's so fun. Yeah. So if you have any more questions after this webinar, we are going to host the Q&A after we stop this recording. But if you still have questions, you can always email us at study@his.se, and we can put that in the chat as well. So you can copy it and save it for a rainy day because, you know, like Karin said earlier, the best questions often come to us after when we've kind of been thinking about things. So don't hesitate to contact our study team because we try to respond as quickly as we can to basically any question. So just contact us there. And if we don't have the correct answer for you, we will forward it to a colleague of ours that do. Yeah.
Yes, and we're of course looking forward to welcome you to our university in August. So we will stop the recording here because we will start answering questions, and then we will be more specific in other things, you know. And so then I just want to say thank you to Magdalena and Sarah for participating, and for all of you who are looking in this recording. Or here at the webinar, please. Thank you for hanging around with us for a while here now, and we're really looking forward to see you and meeting you, of course, in August.
Yes.